You're going to want to go into the store tomorrow, keep warm, because the cold temperatures are expected overnight. The heat is going to be blasting at home.
And if you haven't gotten a tune-up for your system, or if you haven't had your chimney cleaned for the season, now might be the time. Kristen Johnson, the communications director of the Connecticut Better Business Bureau, is here to give us some tips about picking a company so you don't get scammed. Welcome back, Kristen.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks so much. How was your Thanksgiving?
It was a Friendsgiving, and it was wonderful.
That is really nice. I love that idea.
Yeah,
my Friendsgiving is this Saturday.
Oh, that's fun.
Going to New Jersey with all my friends. I'm bringing cupcakes, I think.
Oh, that's fun.
Yes.
Dessert is the best part. So everyone will love you. On the hook.
Exactly. So we're talking about HVAC and heating systems and different.
Tis the season.
Tis the season is right.
You know, the average consumer spent $500 on HVAC
That's
services
incredible.
last year.
Average consumer.
Yeah, so you want to make sure you get someone you trust so you're just not left out in the cold, which can happen, unfortunately.
So what do you recommend?
Well, want to be careful of those who offer free tune-ups, because oftentimes that leads to a high-pressure sales pitch, and you end up spending more than you expected. You also want to be aware of those who require payment up front. Typically with these services, you don't pay until the service is rendered. Now, if it's a big project, they may require a deposit, but you never want to pay in full before the work is done, because they may disappear with your money.
Oh, that's
scary. Very scary.
And here's one more tip. Before they start the work, ask to see any broken parts or any parts that need to be replaced. They don't know your skill set. They don't know what you do and do not know. That kind of gives them the heads up that, hey, I'm aware that you may try to charge me for something that I don't need.
Exactly.
And you're less likely to be taken advantage of.
Yeah, I just spoke with my friend Carol. I was on the phone with her. She said the HVAC guy is here. And she says, I don't hear any banging. He's downstairs, and I don't really hear anything. I said, well, go downstairs and watch him, see what he's doing. And you know, I guess it turned out to be legit, and he was there for a sales call. But nonetheless, you got to make sure you're on top of these people.
Well, this brings up another point. You're letting a perfect stranger into your home,
100%.
which is why it's so important beforehand to do your research before you let them into your home. You know, if you have someone coming door to door that says, hey, I'm doing the neighbor's chimney, or I'm doing their furnace, well, which neighbor?
Exactly.
You know, if they clam up and they can't tell you, you don't want to let that person into your home.
And then I'd call the neighbor.
Yeah, exactly, and say, are you happy with their work?
Exactly. Are they there? Did they come? Are you happy with their work is right?
And that's important, because sometimes people are doing work in the neighborhood, and they will kind of shop around for some more work, service calls and such.
Sometimes you might get a deal. Hey, I'm doing your neighbors. We can give you a deal, but you just got to take the time to do your research. If they're pressuring you to make a decision on the spot, that's a red flag.
I have never paid for a service up front, and I never will. I just won't. I won't do it.
It's not typical.
It's not typical, and if they ask for your money up front, that's a red flag.
Exactly. You don't want to do that.
Okay.
And I think, like you said, it's really important that you have that communication open. You know, even if you aren't paying for services up front, if they're going down in your basement, for example, say, hey, you know, please let me know if there's anything wrong. I'd like to take a look at it first before you continue, right? Just to be your best advocate. Just
like when you get your car done at a mechanic, typically they'll say, this is what needs to be done. And then you make the decision. So.
I love this. Consumers turned to the Better Business Bureau 2.4 million times to research HVAC companies last year.
It's one of the most popular industries to do research on. That's 6,500 inquiries a day that we receive at BBB from all over the country about HVAC services.
That's remarkable.
Yeah, and what you can do while
People aren't just blowing off steam, are they?
No, well, they're inquiring. They're looking into it. They're asking about these companies, which is what we want you to do. Read the complaints. Look at how the company handles those complaints. Would you be satisfied? Because I talked to our complaint handlers. I said, what do you receive? What are you hearing? And they say, a lot of it's not scams. It's just miscommunication. It's the repair wasn't done on time. It's that they said this part wasn't available and they never came when they said they were going to come. It's that sort of thing. So that's where you want to really be sure you're picking a trustworthy company.
Right. And this is all free, right? These are
it's all
free resources for people to go and take that extra step.
Better Business Bureau is a nonprofit organization, so that we just want people to hire companies that they can trust.
Can we talk about chimney sweeps?
Sure, we can do that really quick. I'm losing my voice here.
That's all right.
A lot of chimney sweeps, not a lot, but I should say you should be careful of those that go door to door. You want to make sure that they have insurance. Even though a lot of the work is done inside, you still want to make sure they have insurance. That way, if they're up on your Chimney, you know, and they get hurt, that they have that insurance.
That's a great point. I never even
I
thought
didn't
of
even think about that. That's the liability insurance that comes into play.
And by state law, they have to have a home improvement contractor's license. So ask to see their license. BBB does look annually to make sure our accredited businesses have those licenses, but it's always good to double check and ask.
Okay. Well, Kristen, we can't thank you enough.
Yeah, you're welcome. Before I completely lose my
Yeah, I know. We're going to shuffle off to Buffalo here.
And this is how you can get a hold of the BBB and look up anything that you need. Remember, it's free, it's for nonprofit, and it's available for you. BBB.org/scam tracker.